as clouded as I'm still feeling, I'm functioning enough to, well, talk about something else today. Today, I was thinking in terms about everybody's differences in reading and language, and yeah, pretty much that. And I as a kid and even now, I haven't really been that big of a reader. I read fine and I read well. And as much as the plot of the story or whatever the book is about is supposed to be enjoyed, sometimes I had a hard time understanding what the words were, or what they meant. And not only that, I would say another difficulty of mine, and it's OCD related, is because I would read a particular sentence over and over. It felt like I was, I don't know, being attacked over nothing, and it was relating to power that wasn't even there in the sentence or in the word itself. And I felt, okay, I either skip reading this or I reread it and think of it as something else and kind of, react to it differently, which, sometimes helped, I suppose. I went through a phase in the 4th grade where I was reading and I couldn't stop moving my mouth while doing so. I did not speak out loud. I was able to read quietly, but my mouth wouldn't stop moving. I wasn't able to read without my mouth moving. So I'm not sure, that was quite a phase I went through, and in a way I was thinking, am I ever going to stop doing this? Meaning, am I let me rephrase that. Am I going to be able to read without my mouth moving? Now, some ways reading with my mouth moving and reading out loud to myself has helped. It's like I was narrating to myself, and it's like I was, I don't know, reading a story to everybody, or even to myself. Sometimes I'll even record myself, and in a way it helped warm up my voice, especially vocally, and helped with singing as well, and enunciation and dictation, and a lot more goes with that. There have been other ways of reading, and the way I'm thinking about is audio, listening to a book. That I have high respect for anybody who prefers that, because I prefer it too. I feel there's ways we could be just very, all of us are like savvy on something. Some are bookworms, as they called it, or still call it maybe, and some prefer movies, some prefer all these things. And of course now there's podcasting, there's audio that comes with the book itself, and you can read it along with the voice of who it is that's reading it. And and I'd say that's just another way of learning and processing. And I've been speaking a lot about that lately. And have I ever tried, I don't know, being into books just to please somebody? Yes, certainly. And I'm just not one of those people. I went through a time in life where, I don't know, in 2 years where I read 4 books or something. That's actually a lot for me. Because again, I could read well, but I'm slow at it. I think depending on what the story is, or depending on this, as I'm saying, I'm depending on this or that, your interest and the subject and what it is you're into reading about or listening to about. And I mean, there's no right or wrong way of taking in information. You know, everybody's different, and I'm always going to say that. And of course, for somebody who's blind, you know, they use Braille to read. And this just, it goes around to where one finds out if they're more visual or more audio or more tactic, right? Or tactile, excuse me. And sometimes there's those who can be all those things. But yeah, I said it before and I'll say it again. I have highest respect for anyone who prefers listening to a book or just prefer movies. Or, yeah. I feel that there are ways to be informed and be, how would you say? Everyone's brains are different. I mean, but there's ways to be informed and learn and you know, whether you're highly intelligent or talented or gifted, and yeah, or low average, of average, or above average. It just everyone has their ways, and I would say, you know, stick around those who, you know, respect you for that. You know, if they like to read, that's great. And if they ask, have you read this? And I would say, I'm probably giving unasked advice, like of those, for those who want to understand those who just don't read, or don't read as much as you do. Just, you know, try and understand that people just prefer to listen to books. People just prefer to, yeah, whatever way that they like to learn and enjoy or so. And you know what? Not everyone has that kind of patience. That's okay. I would say, well, maybe, you know, they're a friend, but maybe not the closest friend or so. And, you know, if for those who, you know, are, I don't know, just discouraged or don't like those who don't read, well, then, you know, I just prefer the way I am. So, you know, best of luck to them, but, you know, this is who I am. Language, I suppose, what I mean by language is expressive language, which has always been I've been incompetent, you know, with starting out. And there's body language. I suppose that it might somewhat relates to social cues. And when someone says that, you know what, they just don't speak the same language as me, I don't mean just literally like speaking, you know, like being foreign and from a different country, you know, kind of thing, but also sometimes, you know, speaking the language meaning that they either do or they don't get your social cues, or they don't understand. Some speak the language of empathy, some are very socially high, and yeah, in certain things. Yeah, so, and I might as well, to bring up literally, have I ever learned a new language? I've learned to count in Korean, Spanish, German, but I don't speak those things fluently. I learned a little American Sign Language in college, and I still keep the book around, just just in case I want to relearn it. So yeah, being interested in something or somebody is just as important, or maybe it isn't as important in being interesting. I mean, I'd say it's okay to be interesting, you know, but are you being true to yourself? God knows how many times I've tried maybe to impress somebody. Yeah, I mean, a lot of us have been there, but now I no longer do that. It just isn't me. But yeah, sometimes the most impressive thing could be is that when something interests you, not trying to be interesting to that other person. And you know, either of those ways are fine. They are. It just whether you just, you know, gotta kind of observe, you know, how much energy, or is it naturally how you're like, does it require a lot of things that may even become, you know, that come unnatural. Again, it's great to learn things. But just as long as you know it's something that you want to learn, or maybe someone may even talk you into it, and that's fine too. That's great. And sometimes there's things a lot of us don't know that we were really into, never realized. And you know, sometimes I could take that with a grain of salt. Well, actually, I meant to say I could take that as in either way, like, yes, I'm super excited, I want to try this. Or as in, you know, well, this is kind of somebody's trying to say they know me better than I know myself, you know, kind of thing. Sometimes it's taken that way, but what it really means is sometimes it's just it's a change. Whether it's a huge change, a small change, and whatever degree of, how would you say, whatever degree of the transition. So anyways, yeah, I appreciate and respect all that, whatever ways of your learning is, whatever way you prefer to read, or speak, or you have my highest respects, and hope you have an excellent day. Maybe another thing I want to just before I finish up with this subject, that you know, there's it is frustrating when you can't understand somebody's ways and you really want to get to know them, and you know that the frustration grows there, you know. I also wanted to just bear in mind that, you know, respect is very important to those, you know, who process differently, right? But also, if you feel it's too much of a hassle, like for you, then you don't have to get yourself into it. Just say, you know, I'm sorry, I don't quite understand this. I don't exactly know what they want me to do, you know, that kind of thing. It's just, you know, that's where maybe somebody else comes in. So yeah, I just wanted to clarify that too. But otherwise, again, best wishes to all who learn and process differently. I love you. Goodbye for now.